Welcome to Fruit Up with Bobby Smith. This is a discussion that we having with two beautiful, gorgeous, eloquent, strong, magnificent. These are my friends though. Lashay and Tiff, how y'all doing?
Good.
Great,
What's up?
great,
How are
great.
you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's good to have y'all on. Good to have y'all for discussion. And this is really about like a year in review. You know what I'm saying? Like, if for people who don't know, when I first got back online in September of 2022, these were like two of the people that I first started connecting with and that I reached out to and had conversations with. And we really here just to talk about like a year in review, how we've grown, what's been going on, how things are, and to give people some direction if they're trying to like start a new lifestyle or overcome some things. So let's start off with whoever want to start first. You just jump out there, but let's start off with just telling the people a little bit about ourselves and where we at and where we come from.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and I'll just introduce myself first. So briefly, my name is Tiffany. Everybody called me Tiff. And I discovered a plant-based lifestyle after being diagnosed in 2019 with MS. So that changed my whole perspective about everything. Um, it's made me believe that it's not really what you put into your body per se, it's what you're not adding to your body is what makes us, you know, sick, sort of say. Um, but yeah, so basically since 2019, I have been plant-based. I love it. I do not regret it at all. I've dealt with high blood pressure, I've been overweight, um, underweight, whatever the case may be, I have dealt with it. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Cool, cool. Definitely appreciate you, Tip.
Hmm.
What's up, Lashay? Lashay,
So,
so before you go, Lashay, let's understand Lashay has taken a little social media break. This is like one of her first appearances back on. So let's talk about everybody who know Lashay, but let's give you a little chance to introduce yourself and also go into why you took a hiatus off of social media and how important that is for people you
so, I'm Lashay, um, Lashay Taylor. I got into this plant-based community in a serious way back in 2020 after just kind of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, and I had a surgery a couple of years prior to 2020. I think it was in 2017, 16 or 17. I can't tell you with certainty. I just know it's all a fog, but I know that I had to have an endometrioma removed. It was a tumor the size of a melon. And after that, I knew that I needed to start making some changes. I slowly started making changes. I eliminated uh, first thing I stopped doing was smoking anything. I only smoked THC with tobacco products. I quit smoking. Then I started slowly eliminating certain meat products. And then the last thing was the seafood. I quit drinking alcohol in 2019. I started eliminating all of these toxic things on a slow transitional basis until 2020 is when I decided that despite getting rid of some stuff, I was still having serious health issues, especially with my breathing. I had respiratory issues. I was bleeding every single day. And definitely due to the endometriosis, I had to take birth control to stop the bleeding. And then that's when I really started my health journey. I started with raw vegan lifestyle, at least a high raw vegan lifestyle, eating lots of fruits and raw veggies, and that helped a lot. But I didn't truly start seeing improvement for real, until got like really high fruit or 100% fruit at times. I would do like challenges, challenge myself to eat all fruit for like 30 days. I try to extend it to 60, 90 days. However, all I know is that true improvement started with me when I started eating all fruit. Um, Long story short, the raw vegan lifestyle definitely helped me. However, the battle with still wanting to eat the Babylonian foods was real. And I had a serious, I was developing, I felt like disordered eating thinking patterns when
Mhm.
it came to the lifestyle, like still wanting to eat some, stimulating standard American foods, and then also still wanting to honor my body and eat healthy. So I was really struggling with extremes. I would like eat super clean for like a couple of months, and then I would relapse, so to speak, and then eat probably the worst kind of vegan foods that you can eat. Just like um, like ice cream, like vegan ice cream, like Ben and Jerry non-dairy, and going to Chipotle and eating the faux meats and things like that, which isn't terrible if you do it like, on a one-off, but it would like kind of trigger me going on the far end of it. And then I would eat like pretty terribly for like a month and then feel really bad and then go, there's like this retox and detox cycle. And I was starting to find myself there, which kind of leads me to why one of the reasons why I got off of social media, because I curated my timeline to kind of on a subconscious level make me want to eat on the highest level, like be raw, drink my juices, eat all fruit, and this and that. And generally speaking, I was in a good groove, but I didn't like how I was beating myself up when I did choose to make a so-called unhealthy choice. So I really needed to stop. And then it just got to a point where I just felt like I was meeting the expectations of my followers. And then having this growing follower, because I'm getting interview requests and my followers are starting to grow, even though, like, for real, on the inside, I'm battling with like depression. I have like all this shit going on inside of me that you can't see when I'm posting a pretty picture of a green juice and I'm posting these really fancy looking raw vegan meals and the pressures to like create a recipe book and do all this stuff. Like I just wasn't in the mind state to really do it because I was still struggling with the lifestyle, like in real life. So I just had to kind of cut the noise of the timeline and the social media. I'm I got to a point where I was more focused on my mental health than trying to subconsciously rewire or reprogram myself with everybody else's way of living. I felt like I was becoming way too I was projecting rather, like I'm looking outward instead of going inward. And I'm looking at what everybody else is doing and comparing and doing all that. And in general, in my interviews, I've always been transparent about the struggle when it comes to detoxing and retoxing and the so-called relapses. And my mindset got healthier over time where it was like, you know what? If I was fully raw, not a goal to be fully raw for 30 days. And I was on day 15 of a journey and I had ate something that was like cooked like 2 days out of that 15. I started definitely having a better mindset about it. However, um, there was just other things going on in the background of my life that was going unattended to, like financial issues and things like that. And I just felt like I was spending way too much time online. And even though I was probably planting seeds and investing in what could be like, like a content creation career or journey or whatever, I just realized it wasn't what I wanted. And I didn't care about attention. What I want is to be happy and whole on the inside. And I just wanted to create a more balanced way of thinking when it came to this lifestyle because I was really struggling with it. And then I just also needed to just like get away from the perfectionism of that community.
Mhm.
The You can't post a damn fruit bowl without, oh, I thought we weren't supposed to combine. watermelon with anything. Oh, like I can't. Like, let me just do what I want to do. Like, I live this lifestyle for real, for real. And even though I wasn't perfect, I did actually eat healthy a lot more than I ate unhealthy.
Right.
And but with that said, it doesn't matter how healthy you're eating if you're not good in your mind, because I was still feeling unhealthy physically because I was like sick in my head. I was depressed. I wasn't happy. I wasn't meeting personal goals that I was setting for myself. So it just made me feel like an inadequacy, so to speak. So I had to really just completely go dark, deactivate all of my social media, even in the middle of a challenge, which I felt really bad about, but it was really a matter of like me versus the expectation of internet followers. So um, I'll just cut that there.
Well, no, that's you know what? That's crazy because I was just about to say I was on the same wavelength at one point of getting offline and it's like feeling like it's too much and all of that. Tiff, can you relate to anything that Lashay just said about being online and meeting expectations and all of the things that she named during that?
I definitely can relate because once again, at some point in time, you start to feel like I'm doing what they expect me to do. I'm comparing myself to what they're doing. And half of the damn time, we don't even know what the hell they doing because we only see what they allow us to see. You know what I'm saying? And then, like Lashay said, like you start to get the followers, you start to get the attention, you start to get this, you start to get that. And then it's like it becomes overwhelming. And it's just like, I don't want to do this shit. Why am I doing it? You start to ask yourself, why? Why am I doing it? Am I doing it because this is what I want to post? Am I doing it because this is what they're expecting me to post? So it becomes like overwhelming, like becomes way too much. And then once again, we always compare to people we don't even fucking know. We don't know these people and they don't know us. But the fact that we're just like, ooh, let me see. Well, they did it for 15 days. Let me see if I can do it for 30 days. Let me see if I can do it for 40 days. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, once again, why are you doing this? You're doing it because you want to compare. You want to compete. You want to see they did it. So let me do it. It's a monkey see, monkey do type of thing that goes on the internet. And it's just like, what's wrong with y'all?
So let me ask you this.
You what's wrong? Mm-hmm.
From the first, so since last year, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when we came on the internet, when I came on the internet last year, it was more of a sense of like people wanted to see change, people wanted to be healthier now, but it kind of evolves into something else. What's some of the differences you've seen from this time last year from right now? Like, how do you feel about what the scope of what you see in this?
To be honest, I feel like a lot of people that started this journey ain't doing it no more. And I can't really prove that they're not doing it anymore because they don't post what they do. You know what I'm saying? So in our eyes, if you ain't posting it, you ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't prove that they're not doing it, but once again, in the social media world, in the social media eyes, if you're not posting it, you're not doing it. So
Mm.
it's like, what happened?
Right.
Where's your goals at? And I thought you wanted to do this and I thought you wanted to do that. You're not posting it, so you're not doing it. That's how I feel about it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of social media people feel the same exact way. If you ain't posting it, you ain't doing it. Because that's your proof that you did it. You know what I'm saying? And even though it's still kind of like I can sit here and I can post a picture all day long. How long does that picture last? How long is that bowl of fruit gonna last? Because once you eat the bowl of fruit, what you eating after that?
Mm-hmm.
It's 24 hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? What you doing for the rest of them hours? Because it don't take you 24 hours to eat a bowl of fruit.
Right.
So once again, you can be anybody and anything that you want to do or be on social media.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Lashay, do you want to
Yeah.
say that?
It's about See, for me, I felt like I can only speak to what I do. I feel like I was chasing perfectionism. I was trying to be perfect, and because I wasn't perfect, I was really beating myself up for eating simple things. Like there was actually really nothing wrong with eating a Chipotle burrito, objectively speaking. You know what I mean? Like if you been eating nothing but fruit for a month and you decide you're gonna have a burrito one goddamn day, because I attached so much negative meaning to eating something that was not fruit or not raw, I created became a self-fulfilling prophecy of me kind of like beating up on myself and then just doubling down on eating that. It's not bad to eat something on a one-off, but because you attach so much negative meaning to that one-off because you're chasing something that is literally impossible and perfection, you actually start going to the other extreme of perfectionism. You become like extremely imperfect and you do exactly the opposite of what you want to do. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So then the prophecy is like the law of attraction. It doesn't matter um, what you say. You can say I don't want to do this, but your subconscious mind doesn't register the don't want. It just registered the this. So you're going to do what you don't want to do because that's what your mind is gravitating towards, and you're attaching so much meaning and feeling to that act. And because that was the cycle that I was on, chasing a perfect life. And what's crazy is as soon as I got offline and I made my journey personal and not for likes and not for attention, at first it started as inspiration. It was something I was doing for myself to heal my body, but it got to the point where despite the fact that what I was doing most of the time was pretty positive and good and well-meaning and consistent, um, it still got to a point where because of trying to be perfect and comparing myself to all the perfect people that I followed online, I I couldn't like just do what I wanted to do without feeling guilty about it, without feeling some kind of way mentally. So, as far as like where we started and where we're at now, I'm on some like humble progress, not perfection type stuff. And when I stopped putting so much meaning and so much negativity to eating whatever the hell I want to eat, period, when I want to eat it, it actually made me want to eat less of what I used to feel guilty about. However, I allow myself to eat what I want and I feel better physically about it because I'm not so negative in my head anymore. There is no negative attachment to what I do. And also, it started off again about inspiring the community, being well-meaning, and all of that. But however, if you feel like if you have like feelings, what is that term they say when you're doing something but you don't feel like you're being authentic?
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, I had like imposter syndrome. And I felt like when I would get up every day with my inspiring photos of fruit and juice and meals and all of that, I felt like I was trying to self motivate by posting stuff like that. I felt like when I was sharing things like that, it was to inspire. But once you start getting those followers and that attention, you almost get addicted to it and you're starting to do it just for that instead of being in alignment with the lifestyle for real, for real. And even though I had an intention and a desire to be in alignment with the lifestyle, and in a lot of ways it did hold me and keep me accountable to actually eating that way by sharing it, it doesn't take away from the fact that despite me doing that, a lot of times I would just take pictures of grapes just to take a picture of grapes. I don't even eat that shit. Just put it right back in the refrigerator. Like what? Why are you doing this? So, like, is it for you or is it for the 200 likes you're going to get for a bowl of grapes? you know? So I was like, I just didn't feel authentic after a while. And it's not like I was being inauthentic because it really was my lifestyle. But at the same time, I'm an introverted person. I'm a private person, and I just realized I want to do this for me, not for the internet. And I realized that now that I'm not doing it for the internet, I'm actually more. I'm just at peace with where I'm at, and I just intend on staying at peace. And I really don't intend on going back online for a while because I don't want to be subject to nobody's rules, subject to nobody's criticism, questions, just like you, Bobby. You live this lifestyle. Everybody want to see your blood work. Why people feel like they're entitled to you to prove something to them, and I don't know. But right now, I started what I feel like I gained from being in the community, from where we started to where we're at now, just to close out um, my statement. I believe that what I was truly doing was being in practice of being the best version of myself. Like in this community, I started off meditating, doing a meditation practice every single morning. Now I'm in the habit of actually meditating mostly every day. I'm in the habit of doing breath work mostly every day. I'm in the habit of eating fruits mostly every day. I felt like we were building habits. So when we were challenging ourselves, we were just subconsciously building the habit of doing what was best for ourselves. But the problem lied in trying to be perfect while we was doing that. But I don't regret my journey at all because I learned a lot about myself, and it's about like recalibrating and adjusting as you go on. And I learned that I don't care about attention. I learned that I don't care about followers. I don't care about meeting anybody's expectations. I have absolutely no desire to be perfect. I just want to be better. And that's all I care about. And I just want to be healthy, and I just feel like getting into this lifestyle, we should not be trying to be perfect. We should just be trying to be better. And if we have an intention to heal ourselves, if we have an intention for anything to just be more balanced humans, all I know is the only thing I care about in this life is not to be a raw vegan, is not to be a fruitarian, is not to be none of that. What it is to be happy, is to be at peace on the inside, and that being self-generated. Nothing outside of me is gonna give me a sense of peace and grounding and security besides myself. And that's the only journey that I'm on, is internal happiness, internal peace, having a sense of fulfillment, living with purpose, but it being driven from the inside. It comes from my heart. It comes from like me being of service to others without people looking, like me doing what's between me and God and me being secure in that. And that's really all I care about.
That's real good. And I'm glad we having this discussion. And because I don't think people understand, I really don't think people truly understand the amount of energy and effort it takes to keep the consistency level at this lifestyle. The reason why, like you said, you get imposter syndrome and stuff like that is because if you not living this way, it's hard to purport it. It's hard to make it look like that because it's a feeling that you go off of with this lifestyle. So the reason why I'm really glad we're having this discussion is because for people who getting into it, you have to appreciate the struggle of this. Struggling is a good thing. When you struggling right now, all of us are going through a struggle. But if we weren't struggling, that means we either overcame it or we gave in. So the fact that I'm still struggling every day not to be the person I was, I'm happy about that. And it's a continuing struggle. It ain't 1 year, 2 year. That's why I'm glad after last year from this year, the biggest change I see is that people have a problem keeping up the consistency of the lifestyle. That's it. But that's not a bad thing. You're supposed to have struggles and inconsistencies when you change in your lifestyle. You have to appreciate it to get better. And that's the state I'm in now. I appreciate my struggles. And you don't have to share and experience your struggle with everybody. If I know I'm in a continuing struggle, why I'm gonna come on here every day and talk about the struggle? Who is that good for? Everybody struggle different. The struggle is an action. It's the actual thing to overcome a challenge. So if you're not struggling, you're not overcoming nothing. So that's why I appreciate this lifestyle and getting up every day, putting in the work, because it takes serious work when you're trying to ascend and align yourself with the universe. This is not an easy task. So I love that we struggling. I love that we going through this. I love that we have to repurpose ourselves, because it shows you that you really care, that you really want it. But Tiff, I was talking to someone earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Casino Crisis actually said he was struggling with, and I told him I was just about to talk to you. He said he was struggling with a client to get them to overcome MS. He said not with the actuality of things to do, but with their mindset. Can you
Yep.
speak on the mindset you have when you took on the lifestyle and you said, this is what I'm gonna do to heal myself?
I literally said, fuck this shit. Literally. Like, and that's the time you cannot think about it. If you think about it, clearly it's going to take over your mind. Like your mind is already full with clutter and all type of chemicals and all type of imbalances and things like that. So you're just adding. You want to take away the thought of MS. Like you have to literally train your mind and your body will follow. That's the way you're going to beat it. You can't be like, oh, I have MS. No, you don't. It's not yours. My MS. It's not yours. No, it's the symptoms that you're dealing with. Yeah, but the symptoms, they can go away. They will go away. You have to have that mindset and you have to be stronger than, like, let's just say you feeling real weak that day. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have no energy and you just like, well, something is telling me that I should lay down. That should probably be the best. No, get your ass up, get up, and you need to move. You need to go for a walk. I don't care if it's just around the house. I used to literally put little 10-pound ankle weights around my ankles and walk around in circles around my sofa inside the house. Whenever I would feel like my legs are getting way too weak, that's what I would do, just to keep them, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That's it. So even on them bad days when you're feeling at your worst, you have to mentally be like, fuck this. It is hard. It is hard because some days you like, damn, I don't even want to go to sleep, because what if I wake up and I can't walk? I've been there. And people be like, oh, they just see the outside. They don't know what's going on the inside. They don't know how this shit triggers some of everything in your body all at once. And if you not mentally strong, it will drain you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It will drain you to the point where you feel like, why am I still living? Why? Yeah, it's hard. It is very hard. But I mean, once again, it's a mental thing. You train that mind to be stronger than what you're going through. And you have to literally have them talks with yourself every now and then, like, this ain't shit. Like, it's nothing. You keep reminding yourself that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that a mindset, if you think about it, is setting your mind to do something. So if you can set your mind to do something, you just have to put action behind it. So as we are talking about like balancing this, because like now that from my personal experience, my online experience has been tremendous. You know, the growth, I appreciate all the growth I've had. I've come to realizations. I've learned how to deal with people, how to communicate with people. And I've realized in my message, I tell most people 85% of the people not going to make it. 85% of the people not going to care enough to get to this level of balance, of dealing with the struggle, of dealing with this. So, like Lashay, can you talk about like even with all the stresses of the internet and the things that we going through, I think even though with the growth that we've had, because we struggle, but this is a moment of growth that we have. You can see online the influence that's there from the previous year because it was not like this. And I was talking to you about some of the females and things that you see. It's a lot of energy on the internet and a lot of people doing well. How do that make you feel? What would you tell somebody about how to balance coming into the internet, showing your new lifestyle, being enthusiastic about it, and trying to stay consistent with that?
Um, I would tell them that growth is not linear. Growth is literally like we think that, growth is like this, like you're just going to go upward, but growth is it's you being a better version of the self that you were yesterday, but you're also um retraining yourself on a subconscious level at the same time. So you are relearning and reprogramming yourself from a lifetime of habits, right? So when you start your journey, you're excited, you're enthusiastic, you see the energy of it, especially with all the energy you've created personally, Bobby, and then your connections with Yaki, and then your connections with a lot of people who also have been in this health community, the health conscious community in general, the different subsectors of it, whether it's alkaline, like your boy Carbon Based Self Food and Casino Crisis. There's health conscious people, and it doesn't have to always have to be specific to the fruit up community, or it doesn't have to be specific to the raw vegan community or specific to anything. It's just whatever your own personal journey is. You start off really excited and enthusiastic because you have a problem that you want to overcome. You've seen that other people have done it. You're inspired by others. So you start and you have this momentum and you maintain it for a little bit. And then you kind of hit a plateau at a certain point. And then when you hit that plateau, this is when you really start battling who you used to be and who you are becoming. Um, and I would encourage people that when they get to that point, take inventory to their growth, to not try to be perfect. And if they are imperfect for a day, to not beat themselves up about it and to just be like, you know what? I really was super consistent and disciplined for a whole month. I was like really disciplined for a week. I was really disciplined for this because now you see the you versus you. And I would just say that hold on to the vision that of yourself that you want to be, and know that there is nothing wrong because you're still deprogramming yourself from a lifetime of habits. So if some of those habits sneak in, you know exactly what you have to do to get back on track. And um, I would say to, yeah, keep sharing your journey. And if you have any struggles or whatever, be transparent about those, because sometimes just talking about it can really help and get you back on track. Um, and I think it's real beautiful to see the growth of people who really want to change on this level, like people who are kind of making it trendy to be healthy. I love that. I love that I got to be able to plant the seeds that inspired, especially melanated women, to take control of their health and be happy and be like hype and inspired to make juices and share pictures of their juice, to have big bowls of fruit that they're about to eat and like be excited to share that they're about to make a healthy choice, because it's like each one teach one, and who you inspire is going to inspire somebody else, and then it just kind of grows into this new paradigm of creating a new normal. And I love that that is a thing now, where there's like new people in the community who were once um, inspired to now being the inspiration and working on themselves. And I would just say that growth is not linear. Growth is, you're going to have a spike for 30 days, and then you're going to fall into temptation. And then fall into temptation may spiral you for a little bit. But then you're going to be like, all right, I don't like feeling like this, and then you're gonna have another growth period, and then growth is like this.
Fact.
But you know what? When you look at if you look at it in like a 5 years time, 5 years ago, you were down here, but now 5 years later, you up here. So either way, you still growing, even though it don't feel like it in real time. So we really just reprogramming ourselves by changing our habits. As long as you get up every day and be like, you know what, I want to practice being my best self today. So what would my best self do? My best self would get up early, would do some breath work, will meditate, we'll do 10 minutes of exercise, we'll have a cup of herbal tea, we'll prepare my fruits for the day. Like just be conscious about being in the practice of being your best self. But it's okay if you have a day where you're not your best self, because it's a day-to-day, practice, it's a day-to-day struggle. And if you're struggling, that just means you want more for yourself, and that's your higher self kind of counseling with your lower self. And then you guys come together. On some days you're in alignment, some days you're off, but either way you're always learning something.
Facts. Consistency builds discipline, man. And it
Hmm.
is what it is. You get up and do the same thing every day, you're gonna get better at it. And that's what
You
this is.
can't win without failing. You have to fail to win. You can't be afraid to fail.
Baby steps, baby steps. Tiff, if you could say like from where you was at last year to right now, and I see you, from last year when I saw you, we was more on like a just I know me personally, but I saw you too, like eating fruits every day, trying to get more into fruitarianism. Now I see you trying to put on more weight, working out more, being a lot more physical, focusing on that aspect. What has that done for your energy, and how important is that?
Well, so here's the thing. I am still super, super duper in love with fruits. I'm not changing the shit for my breakfast. So it's still going to be fruit for breakfast. It's still going to be some type of juice for breakfast. Like I'm not eating nothing cooked before noon. So that's still that.
Right?
Sometimes I still am like, I don't want anything cooked. I don't want no chickpeas because it's too heavy on me. So now my body then got so accustomed to just eating fruits, fruits, fruits because I love the way it makes me feel. So even though, yes, I am trying to gain some weight and it's working slowly but surely, I think I'm building more muscle mass than anything, which is good. So it's working, but it's like uh, the days that I do work out, I know that I need to eat whole foods and meals and things like that to try to put on that extra mass. Um, I don't like it. I don't like it. I do not like it. It weighs me down. Um, and it could be once again, I'm still learning. I've never done this before. So this is my first time. So I am in a whole learning phase right now. I'm trying to figure out what works for me and what does not work for me. My trainer, he did have me on like the plant-based protein shakes and stuff like that. And we know that it's synthetic. We know that it's not the real deal. I didn't like the way it made me feel. So I stopped it.
How did it make
And it made me feel fat,
you sluggish?
not really sluggish. It just made me feel fat.
Mm.
And then when I tell y'all, it filled me up to the point where I almost felt disgusted after I drank it. You know how when you drink fruit juice and eat the fruits and you feel like, damn, I want to dance?
Right.
No, this made me feel like I want to vomit. Like it was way too much.
Mm.
And it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like no big, thick smoothie or anything. It was just like, I don't know if it's mental because I didn't put this in my head and because I know of what it really truly is.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, this ain't for me. So I crossed that out. Um, and I was just like, okay, well, I just do like chickpeas, quinoa. Like yesterday I did make me a pot of chickpeas and the quinoa or whatever the case may be. And I had me a big old nice salad. Um, and that didn't make me feel no type of way. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this for today. Because once again, I live day by day ish. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I have to do what's best for me. And I can't do what someone else is doing. Just because they didn't sit here and ate a sweet potato, a big old salad, a quinoa burger with no bread, of course, and mushrooms and this and that. Once again, I cannot do what they are doing because it's working for them. I have to figure out what works for Tiffany. So the strength training is definitely working. That's working with rebuilding my body, making me stronger with the MS and things like that. That is helping tremendously. Like, and it makes my sleep. It makes my sleep a whole lot better. It just makes my mind a whole lot better overall. I think strength training is like, that's where it's at. That is where it is at. And it doesn't have to be weight training. A lot of people think when they hear the word strength training, they automatically think of straight like weights are involved. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Getting
No,
strong.
it can be some tricep dips, it can be some push-ups, it can be some squats, or it can be any type of body weight. It can be simply just walking and it's going to make you feel better.
Most
Yeah.
of my movement and exercise come from walking. You know, walking is the best thing you can do for
The
yourself.
best.
You know,
The best.
and it's so
Yep.
easy and simple. I'm all about simplicity. If it's anything I learned over this last year, I'm gonna tell you like this, family. That the key to elevation is simplicity. Simplicity, the easier it is to do something, the more likely you are to do it.
Yep.
And we make things so complicated because we do not like having things easy. Well, I'm here to tell you, you want to make this the easiest thing you can. As easy as possible, because sustaining this lifestyle, so many things get in the way. I'm talking about, like, you gotta, this is building a new life, right? So when I came into this, I didn't know this what I was really getting into. I didn't know I was about to go on this journey like this. But that's why I appreciate y'all so much, because you get to see where you were at, who came in with you, and where y'all at now, and where y'all going. And it just shows you that everybody is in a different space in their journey, and it's unique. Do not judge your journey based off my journey. My willingness and my wants and desires are different. I want to live like this. I remember when I came online last year, Tiff. That's when our first talk we ever had offline. I'll never forget. It was like late September, early October. I was like, I had just made the decision to be a fruitarian. I was still eating cooked food during that conversation. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to be a fruitarian from now on. And I did it. I ain't been perfect at it. I don't want to be perfect either, because then I wouldn't learn nothing. So if you could say, Lashay, if you could say, okay, you appreciate where you at now from where you was last year, from what you know, that what you've been through, where you want to be next year at this time.
Where I want to be next year at this time, I kind of want to build on what Tiff was saying about the strength training and stuff like that, right?
Okay, yeah, because you have
Because
done. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it has, because it kind of will segue, the answer will segue into that. I love that she brought this up about moving your body, because when I was starting this lifestyle journey, I wanted to start a fitness journey, but I just was like lazy. I wasn't consistent with it. And I just made it all about the food, because I was so fixated on reversing the symptoms in my body. I just made it all about the food, which was probably necessary at that time. Maybe I just needed to build up the routine, build up the consistency, and be in the habit of just focusing on eating healthy, figuring out what I like to eat, figuring out how to eat, when to eat, what to eat, when, where, how, you know what I mean? So maybe that time needed to be dedicated to that, until I started getting distracted with entertaining people with my lifestyle. And then it came from inside of myself to outside of myself. Um, I didn't do a lot of movement. I made a health journey only about what I put into my body, but I didn't think about moving the lymphatic system, like physically moving my body. I didn't think about building muscle. I didn't think about um, the other aspects of a holistic view of living and health. It's not just about food. Where I'm at right now is I'm learning the fuck out of that right now because I feel better today as a person who has started to become more conscious about getting up and moving because where I was is I was very introverted and isolated and alone. I had a social life on social media. I didn't realize just how alone I was until I stopped getting online. I started I came to a realization that even a social aspect of living is a part of a holistic lifestyle. You can't do this alone. And even though I wasn't alone, so to speak, I had an online community. I didn't have a community at home. Like I don't because I'm so introverted and because I'm just so different. I don't have a lot of close connections with friends. Any relationships and friendships I did have, they're kind of gone. Like I'm really just like out here rebuilding my life, like looking actively seeking friendships, like in real life, reconnecting with my family, moving my physical body. Now I get up early and go out on walks consciously to get fresh air and move because I used to spend way too much time behind four walls, breathing my own air, unrenewed, probably not even lifting windows the way I should be, and all of that. So now it's like I'm focusing on the social aspect of it because when you have a social life and you have people that's pouring into you and you can pour into as well, that helps. Like that love actually is a contributor towards good health, good mental health. Um, Having a routine. So now I've been doing different things to figure out what's my sweet spot for my fitness journey. I've tried Pilates recently. I've done boxing recently. I've started hikes. I joined a hiking group. And when I started moving more, I started to realize, damn, I'm I'm not eating perfectly. I still make sure I eat my fruits and I'll have juice and all of that during the day. But if I choose to have a cooked meal at night, I notice I don't have no feelings or symptoms of inflammation. And that's because I've been actually moving my body. I didn't realize that how stagnant I was because of how physically stagnant I was. It doesn't matter how healthy you eat when you're not moving the energy in your body. If you have physical blockages in your body and you have inflammation points and things like that, it's probably because you're not circulating enough. You just sitting still all goddamn day. And that's what I was doing. And I was sitting still because I was in my head in a mental prison that I created for myself, being obsessed with how I was eating all the goddamn time. And food is not everything. Moving is everything. Relationships is everything. Creating a spiritual practice is everything. So now I do breath work. Now I'm learning what the hell my own personal consciousness is, learning how to clear the negative thoughts that would be in my head, being conscious of my consciousness, like meditating. Like you don't know who you are until you sit down very silently and ignore the thoughts that are in your head. You are not the thoughts. You are just the consciousness that is aware of the thoughts, but you are not the thoughts. So it's like learning who I am without the thoughts. You know what I mean? So incorporating all of it, the healthy eating. I don't even need to eat perfect. All I need to do is eat perfect about 70% of the time, as long as I'm moving my body, as long as I'm maintaining good relationships with people, and nurturing those relationships, as long as I'm breathing very consciously for my body. Our bodies breathe for us automatically. Our autonomic nervous system allows our bodies to breathe. Our lungs is going to move. If we're alive, we're going to breathe, but we're not breathing properly. So we have to breathe for our bodies. Our bodies breathe for us, but we need to learn how to breathe for our bodies. And I promise you, any issues you have with breathing, with mucus, with inflammation, and all of that, the breath is spirit, which is why we were talking about this the other day, Bobby. Respiration. The word spirit is built into it. Spire, spear. rest. To breathe is really to be in tune to to be in tune with your spirit is to be in tune with your breath. That's why when you are living, you respire. Your spirit is in a respiratory state, or your body's in a respiratory state. Your spirit is inside of you, and when you die, the doctors tell you that tell your family that you expired. So that means your spirit has exited the body, so you can no longer breathe. So breathing is extremely important. So I make sure before I do anything, I always say thank you, God, for waking me up as soon as I open my eyes, and then I start breathing. I do my 20-minute breath work routine. That has done wonders for me mentally and physically. And then moving, so getting outside and just taking like a walk, trying to get at least 3,000 steps in first thing, and then coming back in, hopping in the shower, and doing all the other things, drinking herbs and all of that. So I want to say that to answer your question, where I am now to where I want to be this time next year is just be even further in this practice of breathing even deeper, getting deeper in my meditation, really knowing who I am without the ego, without all the stuff outside of me. Um, Having a more built body, having more muscle definition, being more disciplined, and having a healthy relationship with food in general. I don't really think you have to be perfect to be eat perfectly to be healthy. I think it needs to be a little bit of everything. Unmute your microphone, Bobby. We can't hear you.
My bad. Dope, dope. So yeah, Tiff, I'm gonna ask you the same question before we get up out of here, because we ain't got that much more time. Where do you see yourself continue in the continuation of your journey by this time next year?
Okay, so I see myself by this time next year. I want to be, like Lashay mentioned, I want to be more toned. I want to gain some muscle. I want to, I am going to gain more muscle. I am going to be more toned. I
That part.
am going to, I am going to be everything that I need to be as a woman for myself. I am going to learn who I am as a whole, meaning mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of that. I will be able to know who the hell Tiffany Moore truly is as an individual. And right now, like I said, I really don't know. I don't know. And one thing I'm not ashamed to admit is that I don't fucking know. When I tell you I am literally going day by day, and I am just listening to my body and what my body is telling me what it wants, that's what I give it. If my body is saying, okay, I need some type of salad, I'm going to give it some type of salad. This whole past week, I've been on salads, salads, salads. So that's letting me know, like, girl, you either missing some iron that you need. You know what I'm saying? The weather is changing. We don't think about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? It's 30 something degrees outside right now. And guess what? A lot of people, they're like, oh, we need soups and we need this. No, this is what you need. I'm trying to figure out what I need. And the only way I can figure out what Tiffany truly needs, I have to once again shut everything that's going around me. I have to shut it out, including my family. You know what I'm saying? I have to shut them out. My youngest, he's 2. I've been mainly focused on nursing him and making sure that he's good. He's good. Now I can get back to what I started. You know what I'm saying? And however long that takes me, guess what? It's not a race. I'm not racing nobody. It is not a race. However long it takes me to build my muscle, to build the physique that I want, that I desire, I'm rolling with it. And I'm here for it. And I'm not going nowhere. I'm not giving up on fruits. I'm not giving up on juices. I'm not giving up on smoothies. I ain't doing none of that. I'm doing what is best for Tiffany whatever that may look like. If I feel like I don't want to eat today, I'm not going to eat anything. If I feel like I'm just going to dry fast, then that's what I will continue to do. If I feel like I just want to sweat all this, whatever the case may be, I want to just sweat, sweat, sweat and go sit in a sauna somewhere, that's what I'm going to do. And around this time next year, I want to be full. I want to experience true happiness. I want to experience true peace. I just want to be peaceful. I don't want to worry about the outside world. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to worry about the outside world. So whatever that may look like a year from now, that's I'll be okay with that. I will be okay with that.
That's dope. That's dope. And you know
Yep.
what though? To both of y'all, I can really appreciate y'all, like real shit, because you know, not only are y'all journeys inspiring, but the growth is in the transparency. You know what I'm saying? Like when you come on here and you say, look, this is what I struggle with, this is what I overcame, this is how I deal with things. That does wonders for the person who think they gotta be fucking perfect.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why this discussion was so needed, so important, because it's like we gotta start off. We gotta remember why we started this shit. It's really truly to become good people. You know what I'm saying? So whatever gets in the way of that is getting in the way of that. But other than that, that's what it's about. It ain't about popularity. It ain't about a fad. It ain't about doing it the best. It's about doing your best and elevating. So I appreciate y'all journeys. I appreciate y'all for coming on here and spending that time because it's needed. People need to see the authenticity of the lifestyle. It's not easy. It's not what you see. It's what it is. So
Facts. And you know what?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
go,
I
go,
want you to
go.
finish your thought.
I was just gonna say, and we're here to live it and experience so we can show people what it is. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And might I suggest, because something that I recently started is therapy. Um, we trying to do everything alone and we trying to overcome the blockages. Why do you emotionally eat? How did you become overweight? How did you get your body to a state of dis-ease? Disease isn't only just from what you eat either or a lack of movement. We trap traumas in certain parts of our body, depending on if we're dealing with grief, if we're dealing with jealousy, envy, fear, anger. These are all emotions, but there are things that we're holding on into in our bodies that we have to release. And I believe that the overeating and or emotional eating and eating the toxic things, we're doing something that we know is self-destructive to us consciously. I think that has more to do with us trying to escape a reality. And I think we have to start being serious about getting to the root cause of why we do the things that we do. I think that's just a symptom of something deeper going on inside of us. And I think that if we have any kind of characteristic traits, like toxic characteristic traits that we live with every single day, that we subject ourselves to and subject the people that we love to, we need to get therapy. We need to figure out what that is. We need to unpack it, do our shadow work. But I think, especially in the Black community, um, therapy isn't something that we talk about, isn't something that we do. And a lot of, not all of us, but therapy used to be a joke. You talk about a therapy, it'd be made a joke up, you'd laugh about it. But I do think that your health journey is a mental health journey too. So therapy, I only had one session, and that alone was already like I felt productive, emotionally enough to feel like, you know what, I can feel the change that's coming in my life because I'm about to start unpacking a lot of shit that I've been holding on to. So I would just say that, like, consider going to therapy and figure out why. you do the things you do, why you're an alcoholic, why you smoke, why you overeat. Yeah.
That's definitely can help. Definitely. I'm not opposed to therapy at all. That's why, like, this, for me, shit like this is therapy. You feel me? Like, talking and over, like, because there's no reason to hide from nothing when you're trying to go towards something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to release all that old shit. You got to overcome who you were as a person. And this, there's no, I think one mistake a lot of people make is putting a timetable on their journey
Yep.
and being how they're going to be, how I'm going to, what it's going to look like. You can't determine that. All you can do is control you getting up and inputting. That's it. What you putting in, what you doing for yourself. All of that is work. All of that is work. So the fact that we still here, we continuing to grow, we building relationship, and we have an appreciation for it is all we can ask for. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I love what y'all doing for yourself. I love who y'all are as people. And I love that y'all are struggling. Because once the struggle is over, then that means we did something wrong if we haven't overcame it. So definitely keep doing what y'all doing, keep growing, keep putting that work in, and keep showing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Real talk. I appreciate our friendship.
Likewise, love you too.
I
Yeah.
love you too. I love both of you guys. And I'm glad we did have this conversation. It was definitely much needed. And it's good to see that y'all still doing the damn thing. Okay. Y'all are still, no, I'm so serious. Like, y'all still doing the damn thing and moving on to bigger and better and just focusing on what's best for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. After it's all said and done, this shit don't matter. It's not even real.
It don't. It
It's
ain't.
not real.
We're gonna
It ain't real.
see now we're gonna have to come back and have another conversation because it's so much to discuss. You feel me? So
There is. You know what? We're gonna be the trio. I think we need a podcast. We can pop up once a week. No, because this is for real, and we're real. You know, we ain't sitting here trying to act perfect or seem perfect, and we're all growing and we're learning and we're in our growth journeys. Just like Tiff said, she said, I don't know who I am. Neither do I, but I'm actually not afraid to figure it out anymore. You
Yep.
know, before I was afraid to figure it out. I was too stagnated at blockages. I couldn't even do what was best for myself. Now I'm willing to get out of my comfort zone. Now I'm willing to not be lazy and just do what needs to be done to have that sense of fulfillment and happiness that comes from the inside, because we tend to seek happiness outside of us. I was seeking happiness in a healthy diet. I was seeking happiness in attaching myself to relationships. I was seeking happiness and going shopping for clothes, seeking happiness, like trying to do all these things outside of me to feel good on the inside. But ultimately, the only thing that could make us feel good on the inside is us working on ourselves from the inside, you know, not only from what we put into our bodies, but the thoughts that we're thinking, like being conscious about changing the words that the things that we say to ourselves in our head, how we speak to ourselves from the inside, and just like real personal growth, like real personal journey, moving our bodies. That comes from the inside, like making the effort to show up every single day at the gym, or show up every single day to take that walk, every single day to learn a new skill, because we get afraid of being beginners. You know, like we're afraid to, because we don't know the exercises, or we don't know if you're doing yoga, the positions. Like we're afraid to just like start because we're beginners and we don't want to look stupid in front of the people who are more advanced. But that's overcoming a personal fear, which is working on yourself from the inside. All this stuff is free. You don't need to pay to work on yourself from the inside, but we want to use our money as the energy that's going to change us when it's not going to work out that way. It's going to come from inside of us. It's going to take us actually changing our minds enough to move our bodies in a way to manipulate, you know, our external world, but it's going to start from inside of us. So that's what's important. All right, y'all.
All right. Well, I
I
appreciate
love you both.
y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I thank y'all for coming on. We'll be back at it.
All
For
right.
sure.
Y'all take care. See y'all
All right.
later.
Peace,
Love
peace.
y'all.
Bye.
Love y'all
All
too.
right.
Peace.